He's 46 years old. He hasn't fought a real professional bout in over a decade, and he just walked into a training camp looking like that?
Last 30 seconds.
Look at the hams. Look at the footwork. Manny Pacquiao's first day back in camp for the Floyd Mayweather rematch. And I'm not going to sugarcoat it. The man looks dangerous. Not for his age dangerous, just dangerous. This is what people forget about Pacquiao. He doesn't age the way normal fighters age. He's playing basketball, he's running, he's in the gym when there's no fight on the horizon.
It hurts me more than you, man. 21 seconds. Time.
When you start.
Woo!
That's a good massage. That's a deep tissue massage.
I like that. Maori tattoos.
When Freddie Roach walked back into that gym and watched him work, you know what he saw? He saw the speed was still there, the fire was still there, and that matters more than any physical test, any MRI, any pre-fight medical.
Amen.
Hey, Fred's looking for a hug over here. Fred's looking for a hug. Fred, you not funny?
Yeah, just do everything.
He looks familiar. He looks familiar.
Never too early for you.
Back to work again.
Manny Pacquiao's greatest weapon has never been his fists. It's been the fact that his brain hasn't told his body to quit.
Boxing, this is really hard sport. When laziness comes to your body, to your mind, then stop boxing. Forget about boxing. But as long as you dedicated, you have fire, you have you have interest to punish yourself like that, or hard work, you enjoy doing hard work, training like that, discipline, then go for it. Like, continue boxing,
Yeah.
But
If you do that, you'll be successful.
Of course. But something like, comes to your mind, like, especially in the middle of like preparation, like let's say 2 months after 1 month training, it's like you're tired, like lazy.
I agree. It's not a sport you play.
But as long as you enjoy it, you enjoy, you're happy doing it, like, go for it. Like, that's what I'm doing. Like, when the time comes, like, come to my mind, my heart, like, I'm lazy, I'm tired. Then forget about boxing.
Now let's be real for a second. This fight shouldn't exist, at least not on paper. You've got a 49-year-old man in Floyd Mayweather stepping back into a ring against the 46-year-old legend in Manny Pacquiao, 11 years after their first fight. 11! That's not a rematch, that's a time capsule. But here's the thing, and this is what the critics keep missing. Boxing has always been this. Leonard came back, Duran came back, Ali came back one too many times and broke all our hearts. This sport doesn't let greatness sit still. It pulls it back in. And when two men like these two have unfinished business, you can't stop it. The money won't stop it. The age won't stop it. Nothing will. The first fight left a wound that never fully healed. Manny knows it. Floyd knows it. The whole boxing world knows it.
It was also a cash grab, but really, that one was also a little bit too late, and they didn't really fight with that passion and fire. It was more like, I'll dance, you dance, and if nobody gets hurt, we both win, And that's not really what fans want to see. Having said that, the first time around was for the championship of the world. Floyd was the champion. Pacquiao was challenging him. I think Floyd had the WBC title at the time, so on and so forth. And you know what I say about. And at the time, it was still a fight that was viable within the whole world landscape of the welterweight division. This time around, it's not really a viable fight within the landscape of the welterweight division, but it's like I always complain about Canelo. As long as you don't take the belts with you and hold them hostage, and the sanctioning bodies allow you to hold them hostage, I don't mind guys doing this kind of thing. let's face it, is it the only time we've seen this? We've seen this time and again. I mean, Leonard did the third fight with Duran and Hearns in 1989.
Let's talk about what the experts are actually saying, because it's not all fireworks and nostalgia out here. Oscar de la Hoya, a man who's fought both of them, who's promoted both of them, who knows this sport's economics better than almost anyone alive, he's picking Floyd. Diplomatically, yeah, but clearly.
The thing about Mayweather you have to understand is he's always taken care of himself. Like, you know, his body, physically, mentally, he's always been very sharp and always staying in the gym and doing something physically, right? That's the big advantage he has. I mean, he's an athlete. He's a world-class athlete.
He watched Manny's fight with Mario Barrios and felt bad. His word, not mine. You kind of feel bad because it's not the same Pacquiao, the guy who put him on his stool in round 9. That Pacquiao's gone, he says.
You know, watching Pacquiao's last fight, yeah, you kind of feel bad. You kind of feel bad for him, and you know, even though he did win and he did, I guess, pull off a surprise in his last fight with a draw against the world champion, but still, you tend to kind of like feel bad because it's not the same Pacquiao. You know, it's definitely not the same Pacquiao I faced. That's for sure. The one that you know, put me on my stool in the 9th round. But I still think that Mayweather will pull this one off. I mean, if it does happen.
Shakur Stevenson, he's not even hedging. He's ready to put money on Floyd, real money. I don't lose bets when it comes to boxing, he said. Coming from an undefeated champion who's one of the best defensive fighters on the planet right now, when that guy tells you Floyd wins easily, you listen.
Huh? Yeah, Floyd really making a comeback?
Yeah, he's fighting Pacquiao.
A real comeback?
Yeah, real fight. Pac-Man versus Floyd. Floyd gonna cook that nigga.
Wait, for real?
Yeah, Floyd gonna cook that nigga. Bet
I
all
didn't
your
even know
money.
that was happening. When?
September.
Damn.
Yeah,
Everything on Floyd.
The gold.
I ain't bet on like a match before, low key though. I be scared to
Bet whatever on Floyd. Bet whatever. You gonna outbox him, make it easy. Get his check, go home.
But that's on you, bro. Please, bro. Don't let me down.
What?
Bro, I don't like losing bets, bro.
I don't lose bets when it comes to boxing.
For real?
Barely. I lost before though.
Wait, what's your record? You undefeated, right?
Yeah, I'm 25 and 0. 25 and
Bro, you doing it big, bro. On some Jersey shit,
Yeah,
like.
appreciate it, bro.
That ass, man. Like, congratulations, bro.
Appreciate it.
And Teddy Atlas, methodical as ever, breaks it down category by category. Age, even. Miles on the odometer. Edge to Floyd because that defensive, counter-punching style means he's absorbed less punishment over a career. But reflexes and timing, he gives that to Pacquiao. Why? Because Manny's been active. He's been in real fights. Mayweather's been doing exhibitions, stopping guys with no professional experience. That's not the same thing. Your timing is a muscle. If you don't use it, you lose it.
But even. They each get a check. They're both old, right? So that's number one. The number two was who's got less miles on the odometer. And because of the defensive style of Mayweather, I gave a check to Mayweather having the edge here. I mean, besides the Marquette fights, Pacquiao's been in some tough fights, right? Reflexes and timing and other boxing elements. Well, I gave the check to Pacquiao. You know, at least he's had some fights, or at least one real fight, you know, with Barrios recently. And yeah, Mayweather's fresher, but inactivity could affect his timing, especially early in the fight. So next one, power. Well, the guy who's always been the naturally better puncher, not the naturally bigger guy though, so that equals it out a little bit, evens.
Terrence Crawford didn't sugarcoat it either. He called Floyd the greatest ever, better defensively than Pernell Whitaker. That's a massive statement. Sweet Pea had more head movement, more slipping, more making you look stupid. But Floyd had the catch and counter system that nobody in history has executed at his level. You throw your best shot, he absorbs it on the elbow or the forearm, and before your brain has even registered what happened, you've been hit 3 times with punches you didn't see coming. Here's what's interesting, and Boots Ennis picked up on this. Floyd at 49 might actually be forced to fight differently. The movement that lasted 12 rounds back in 2015, that's expensive at that age. What we might see instead is a higher guard, walking forward, making Manny run into something, a more stationary Floyd, which, on one hand, plays to Manny's aggressive style. He wants Floyd to stand there. But on the other hand, a stationary Floyd is a trap-setting Floyd. And there's a real possibility, Boots says, that this ends in a stoppage. Floyd lands a counter on a charging Manny that Manny never sees coming. Lights out. History.
George Kambosos, who trained alongside Manny and knows his capabilities intimately, he's one of the believers. He saw things in that gym that the public didn't see, movements the human body supposedly can't do. He says if you put something in Manny's head, if he truly commits, he gives everything, 110%.
Surprising. Obviously, I know Manny very well. You know, he's a true competitor. He's a guy that if you put something in his head, and obviously to create more history, he's a guy that's going to give everything and try his best. That's what Manny. One thing I always learned with Manny is give 110% and try your best no matter what. So yeah, he's going to give it his all. Again, you can't beat Father Time, but Father Time is hard, and it was very hard watching him fight Lucas, and you could see it. And then watching the exhibition he had with the Korean guy or the Japanese guy in last year, it was hard to watch. I know Manny, I know the man that I was sparring. I love that guy. So, but again, he's a legend, and if he turns it on, he can still do it.
And Roy Jones Jr. made a point worth sitting with. Manny got knocked out twice early in his career. Twice. Most fighters don't recover from one knockout, let alone two. He came back and built the most decorated resume in the history of the sport, 8-division world champion. That kind of resilience isn't physical, it's something deeper. Ricky Hatton, who's felt both men's punches from the inside, gives the edge to Floyd overall. But even he admits Manny was more explosive, more aggressive. And critically, Hatton says he wasn't himself when he fought Pacquiao. He wasn't looked after properly. By contrast, when he fought Floyd, he was closer to his best.
You fought both, obviously. In your opinion, who's better? Who's tougher?
I think Floyd Mayweather. Yeah, I think Floyd Mayweather. I mean, and that sounds rich because he absolutely was probably one of the most brutal knockouts in boxing history, I'd say. You know what I mean? When I see him getting knocked out by Pacquiao on Instagram or YouTube or anything like that, it's in the top 10 of the most destructive knockouts of all time. Yeah. But I was a little bit past myself by the day. You know, I'd had one or two. I wasn't a master of defence like Floyd Mayweather. I'd take 4 to get one in sometimes, you know. And,
I'm the same, Ricky.
And in between fights, I'd be up in weight, down in weight, up and down in weight, you know, on the lash and, you know, and all that stuff. And that, so wasn't looking after my body like an athlete probably should have done. And I think I was, by the time I got in the ring for the Manny Pacquiao thing, I was a little more a shell of myself. So, but I think when I fought Floyd, I was a little bit more.
If even Ricky Hatton, whose knockout at the hands of Pacquiao is one of the most violent in boxing history, gives Floyd the edge on pure skill, you have to take that seriously. Now, and this is the conversation everyone's having, but nobody wants to say out loud. Is this fight happening because of boxing or because of economics? Dan Rafael laid it out plainly. The 2015 fight set every record imaginable. Gate, pay-per-view, revenue, sponsorship, pick a metric, it broke it. That doesn't happen in 2025. The market's different, the fighters are older, the magic moment has passed. So Netflix steps in. No pay-per-view, just your subscription. September 19th at the Sphere in Las Vegas.
Bout, also probably in April, but in a different location. And it sets them up on the same time schedule where if they're going to do a rematch, September 19th at the Sphere in Las Vegas. The fact that Netflix is doing it is not surprising at all. That's always been what they've been talking about doing. I think both fighters and everybody involved understands that it's one thing when everybody wanted to see the fight in 2015, you put it on pay-per-view and it's going to be a blockbuster, which it was. They charged $100 for the pay-per-view, the biggest price ever for a pay-per-view. And it set every conceivable record that you could think of in terms of gate, boxing, pay-per-view buys, overall revenue, the sponsorships, the merchandise. You pick a metric and it broke the record. That would not be the case now, 11 years down the road. Since they first fought in 2015. So they needed somebody to put up big money, and it really fits the profile of what Netflix is trying to.
Both men are reportedly getting $100 million each. And look, you can call it what you want. You can say it's entertainment, you can say it's nostalgia, you can say it's two legends chasing one last payday. All of that might be true, but here's what's also true. These are still the two biggest names in boxing, anywhere, any era. Put them together in a real fight, not an exhibition, on someone's record, and the whole world stops. Manny made that clear. He turned down the exhibition offer. He doesn't want a glorified sparring session. He wants Floyd's O. He wants to be the name that follows Floyd Mayweather for the rest of his life, the loss nobody was supposed to give him. That's not an exhibition mindset. That's a revenge mindset. The training footage tells you everything you need to know about where Manny's head is. The stick conditioning, getting hit repeatedly to build pain tolerance and mental resilience, that's not something a man does for a paycheck. That hurts. That's brutal. That's the kind of training you only do when you genuinely believe in what you're preparing for. Freddie Roach is back in the corner, the man who knows Pacquiao's style better than anyone alive, who built those combinations, who sharpened that pressure game across decades. His presence isn't symbolic, it's strategic. In Manny's own words in an interview with Andre Ward, he says, "I'm still enjoying training like before. Nothing's changed." At 46, training every morning, taking no days off, no laziness, just fire. So here we are, September at the Sphere. Two icons, one unfinished story, and a boxing world that hasn't been this genuinely split on a fight since 2015. Here's what I want to know. Do you think Manny Pacquiao's speed, that same explosive, pressure-based speed we're seeing in camp right now, is enough to finally crack a defensive system that nobody in history has solved? Or does Floyd's ring IQ, his timing, his catch and counter mastery win out even at 49 years old? Drop it in the comments. Team Pacquiao or Team Mayweather? And tell me, do you think this one ends inside the distance?